Hi, everyone. Today I am talking with my friend Kevin Green, who is with Cross Country Mortgage, and he's one of my lender partners. And we just want to talk a little bit more about what the rates are doing and how getting into a home as we go into 2024 might be. You might want to do that sooner versus later, and just what's going on in the market. So welcome, Kevin.
Carol, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. So here's the general situation that's going on right now is rates are finally starting to come down, and it's only going to continue to come down. So we have hit the top, we've hit the crest, and we are now on the way down. Okay. There are not going to be any more rate hikes for the foreseeable future. Right? I say at least, depending on inflation, but another 5 years out, there will now only be cuts. Okay. You gotta understand that when the Fed cuts the Fed funds rate, it doesn't directly affect mortgage rates basis point for basis point, right? So if they say 25 basis points, 0.25%, mortgage rates don't just dip 25 basis points or 0.25%, right? It's not exactly how it works. However, the Fed fund rate does have an influence on mortgage rates. But here's the thing, inflation is down. The Fed is talking about no longer doing any hikes and that cuts are coming. And so what's happening is the bond market's reacting positively to that. So I won't get too nerded out on it here, but the 10-year Treasury has fallen over 100 basis points. That's a full 1 percentage point in the last 40 days. That's fantastic. And so right now we've gone from 8% mortgage rates down into the low to mid sixes already.
Wow.
And so for every I think it's for every 1% that mortgage rates drop, another 4 million buyers come into the market. That's nationwide, of course, right? Wow. So the short of it is there's a window that is open for buyers right now that I don't know how long it's going to last. Not very long. So buyers can still do, full inspections. They can get seller concessions. They can get under list. You know all of this, right? I'm not a realtor. This is just what I see coming across my desk. And I think that window is closing, my guess is by March. And it's just a matter of, I think anyone that gets into a home right now, between now and, again, this is an arbitrary guess, but maybe March, mid-March, is going to be ecstatic by the end of the year, because they're going to have their equity jump up 10%, because there's just not enough inventory, as you know, Carol. And so these rates are coming down. They're only going to keep coming down, which you and I know what that means. Bidding wars are coming back. And buyers are going to lose their power.
They are crazy times. Because right now there still are seller concessions, and they're offering, buy down the rate, and we'll negotiate with you on things. And once those competition comes back, that's going to be out the door. So
totally off the table. So I really think I'm actually scared. I think, because I believe in real estate, the industry that we're in here, Carol, is the biggest instrument to wealth building of Americans. There's nothing bigger, there's nothing better. So I strongly believe in real estate, and I feel, and I don't want to be overly dramatic here, but I honestly feel like a moral obligation to get this message out right now. Right? Like, you guys, it's going to go back to all of the bidding wars you heard from your friends, losing multiple offers, having to put a 60, 70,000 over the list price and still not getting it. This window is closing, and I just want this message to get out to as many people as possible so I can put them into home ownership while they still have some power as a buyer.
Right. I love that. And I'm totally on board with you. So that's great information. So as you have, I personally have a son who's 25, who's a first-time home buyer, and he's looking probably in the next 8 to 12 months. We're kind of working through that. What would you say to the people that are first-time home buyers and they're kind of scared just about having enough for a down payment? Talk us through that a little bit. Like, are there programs? I know there are programs, but what's available for first-time homeowners to get them kind of into a house sooner versus later?
So the first thing I would say is what any good financial advisor would say. Whenever asked, when is the right time to buy a house? When is the right time to buy your first home? The answer is always as soon as you can. It doesn't need to check all the boxes. You just need to get in, because how are you going to upgrade to that big house later on as your family expands or whatever happens in your life if you didn't get in and just start, right? So it does need to check all the boxes. A little condo in a good location, you're in the game, right? So that's the first answer. Secondly, as a first-time buyer, you only have to put down 3%. 3% of the purchase price. A lot of people don't know this, right?
Okay.
And there are a lot of down payment options out there. Well, there's 4, and I have all 4 of them. And so there's
Awesome.
different ones that vary for different There's almost nobody that wouldn't qualify for down payment assistance because, for example, the Metro down payment assistance has a very high income limit. I think almost 150,000 a year you can make and still qualify for it.
Okay.
So sometimes people worry that, I probably make too much for down payment assistance. Unlikely. Most first-time buyers can qualify for down payment assistance, right?
Okay.
There's some pros and cons to that. Another thing that I would suggest for first-time buyers that I'm a very, very pro advocate of, this is how I bought my first house way back. I don't want to date myself, but 2009, is 401k. So a lot of people don't know, with a 401k, if you're using it to buy your first piece of real estate, and this, check with your fiduciary, but I've never heard of a 401k that had a penalty if you're using it to buy your first piece of real estate. And so the thing that you get to do here is you get to be on both sides of the desk, I say, right? You're the banker and the borrower because you're paying yourself back with interest. And this is a great source for down payment. So if you've been putting money into a 401k, look, you've been investing that money. It's not like you're taking it out to buy a pair of jet skis, right? You're taking it from one investment and investing it in the U.S. housing market, and you're paying yourself back with interest. So I am a big fan of 401k as a source for down payment, down payment assistance. Also, a lot of people don't know that family can be an acceptable source of down payment. So there's a lot of ways to make it work, guys. And the whole 20% down thing, I can't believe is still out there. It's 3%. That's the minimum. I'm going to take out a billboard that says it. See, I can't seem to get the message clear enough.
That's awesome. So back to the 401ks, are there some, like I know just in my personal history, I have not been able to do that with my husband being on the fire department, and our retirement is a little bit different. So are most companies you're able to do that, or?
Yeah, that might be a para account if it's a fire department. I'm not sure exactly his situation, but I don't know. I mean, all of the major ones, Fidelity, Edward Jones, there's absolutely no penalty whatsoever if you're using those funds for your first real estate purchase for first-time buyers. Yeah, so but I am not a financial advisor by any means, so check with your fiduciary, whoever carries your 401k.
So another question then, people that have been, a lot of people are in the home that they love, they have a low interest rate, but they want to buy maybe a second property. So talk to us a little bit about what that looks like. If somebody is wanting to purchase like a rental or even like a fixer-upper or something like that as we go into the new year, what kind of things should they be looking at as far as getting a loan for that?
So you mean not like buying another primary, but buying rather like a second home, like a vacation home or a rental property?
Yes.
So there's a big difference between those two. So a second home, that means that you're going to occupy this home in some capacity within 12 months, right? So if you're just going to lay your head down in this home, so like a mountain home, a lake house, something like that, something where you're not going to put a long-term lease on it, right? Because that would be weird if you had a 12-month lease and then you went and slept in it one night, right? That might be a little weird for your tenants. So a second home, totally different. Second home only requires 10% down.
Okay.
A lot of people don't know that. Second home only requires 10% down, whereas an investment property, meaning you're going to buy it solely for the purpose of renting it out long-term, you're never going to enjoy this home yourself, right? That is 20% down minimum.
Okay.
However, 25% is ideal in that situation. Here's why. When you buy an investment property, the interest rate is automatically higher because it's a non-occupied home. And so the risk is considered greater, and therefore banks increase the rate on it. Well, a way to really get that rate back down is to put 25%. You usually get about a 0.25% lower in rate if you can put 25%. 20 is the minimum, but 25 will get you a little bit of a break in the rate.
Okay.
But also remember this, when buying an investment property, the rate doesn't matter at all. In fact, you almost want a high rate for tax purposes, right? The higher interest you're paying, the better tax break you're getting.
Right.
And keep in mind, all that matters when you're buying an investment property is cash flow.
Right.
So if the renter is covering the mortgage and then some, who cares what the rate is?
Yeah. Okay. Great point.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I love that. That is great information. So again, everybody that's watching this video and that follows me, please just get off the fence, I can put you in touch with Kevin, and he can help you get qualified for whatever the programs are. He can be creative. He's got a lot of information that he can share with you as far as the whole lending piece of buying a home, whether it's your first home, second home, investment home, or whatever. So thank you so much, Kevin, for taking time to chat with me today. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Happy to help.
All right.
Thanks, guys.